Well, hello and welcome to PM Express. And one would say, why are you in a red t-shirt today? Well, it's to say big congratulations to my wife. It's been 10 years since she's been hosting the Standpoint, and I think she's chalked a great feat. So we say congratulations to Awodanswa and the Standpoint. But what's the issue on the table today? No bed syndrome again. Today on social media, there were pictures trending of patients being treated on the floor. Some sat in their chair because indeed the minister has decreed a fatwa that nobody should be driven away, and so no one was being driven away. Is that the best there is? I mean, I'm not a technical guy. I mean, was that literally the last straw, that you lie on the floor? You could even have put a mat, a cloth, sit in the chair, but those were the scenes. In the same time, there are still facilities that are closed. Arguments are that there are no funding to run it, no personnel to run it. So we have hospitals that with not enough doctors to go around. I mean, really, as a country, is this the best we can do with our health? Because that's one area that affects each and every one of us. Rich, poor, high or mighty, health is one thing that affects us all. And is this the best we can do about it? Sometimes you just get stuck. Don't know what else to say. Do you just throw your hands up in the air and give up? Or you just keep talking, and hoping that one day, the alarm bells will go on. So that's the issue on the table today. My name is Nana Ansakwa IV, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwemoduma. And when I come back, talking no bed syndrome. Well, with me in the studio to discuss this issue is a man who is concerned about this issue and concerns himself about these issues. Dr. Gabriel Benanku is the president, Coalition of Health NGOs in Ghana. So if somebody is being treated on the floor, he must be concerned about it. Later on, Dr. Titus Benyu will join us. He's Deputy General Secretary of the Association of Medical Doctors, who will also come and join us via Skype. But Doc, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Doc, no bed syndrome again. This morning, pictures were on social media of patients literally lying on the floor, sitting in a chair, being treated. I mean, is that really that as a nation, this is the limit? I mean, we're stuck.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, Ghana, especially the coalition of NGOs members across the 10 regions. And also good evening to the Minister of Health and the Ghana Health Service Director General. And all civil society who are contributing to this crusade, ensuring that we can reform our policies and also hold public officers accountable for the work they do in the health sector. This afternoon, I started speaking to the issue because for 3 weeks we have been on the break to analyze certain situations in the health sector, and we are coming back full flesh. What we are experiencing in Ghana now is what we call incapacity. Incapacity in the sense that we seem to think that in the health sector we can't do anything about it. And that is the meaning of the word incapacity. Why can't we be innovative about what is happening? If the minister or the Director General have issued directives and the directive is adhered to, and then people can sit and just want to give back to the minister or the Director General that they can't do anything about it. That is incapacity.
Let me say...
And the simple reason is that if those officers who are at the helm of affairs there are showing this, we recommend that the Director General should rather take them out and bring in people who will bring innovation to the system.
Let me, on that note, let me say hello to Dr. Titus Benyo. Titus, hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. And I want to take a quick message or listen to a patient that was treated today, and then, Doc, I'll come back to you.
Okay, no problem.
Great.
Cardiac problem, all the way from Kaswa in an ambulance. When we entered, in fact, there was no bed, but they didn't say so. They said they have been told not to reject anybody. So they admitted us, tried whatever to resuscitate her. But she was lying on the floor wailing. There was nothing they could do because there was no bed. I went home in the night around almost 12. My grandchild called me and said, they've been asked, all of them have been asked to come and sleep outside because other patients were being brought and there was no place for anybody to sit. We were just hanging around, he was lying, rolling herself. Girl called me and said, they've been asked to sleep outside under a staircase. If I became too worried, somebody with a heart problem, if something happens at night, the nurses are not around. So my grandchild wept all night while the girl was wailing. Today too, we came to see her sitting on a plastic chair. You see, you have seen her condition now. It's deteriorating.
The harsh reality in the health sector. And one person who was in the forefront championing this fight against this such things is Dr. Titus Benyo. Doc, welcome again.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. Apologies, I couldn't make it to the studio.
Apologies accepted. But Doc, is this the best we can do?
Nana, I think if you remember, when I was first on your network to speak on this issue, I predicted that this is what was going to happen. And I indeed said that the Ghanaian deserved better. And we needed to demand for the best from our political leadership. I also remember saying that issuing an administrative fiat or directive without the necessary logistical support is like telling an army to go to war without accoutrement, without ammunition. And the end result is that not only are your soldiers going to be wounded, but the nation will be defeated. And I think that is what is beginning to show up now. My very greetings to the in-studio guests, but I respectfully wish to differ from his first submission, and that is an inaction, and therefore those in charge should be removed. I think we should look at this holistically. I made a point much earlier that the reality on the fact is that demand has exceeded supply. If you change the management of Korle-Bu today and bring in a new management, it doesn't automatically translate into more beds. The reality is that a number of 60 patients that were seen on the day that pictures were taken, an emergency that has a capacity for 30 beds, and you are not sending anybody to any other facility. You are trying to move patients to all the wards, and you cannot create space. Simply put, what happens will repeat itself, and it will keep repeating itself. So I think if you are looking for solutions, we should look at it comprehensively. And I go back to our statement we issued for the Medical Association, asking for a national call system, a national bed below management system that is backed by ICC, giving real-time, up-to-date bed status on our major hospitals across the region with a command center, hopefully in Accra here, and improve pre-hospital care system with efficient ambulances. I mean, some of these people, if there were ambulances around, some came in ambulance and there was no space and they were kept out there. if in the course of the night they realize that they're still not going to any space, and we have some of these systems work, it could prompt up on the system, for instance, that space has been created at reach. So these patients can transfer there. So I think the reality is what is facing us, and we have to set up and find solutions. And that solution does not begin by saying that those at the receiving end, who are the facility managers, who are the doctors who are struggling to handle these people wherever they are, should be changed. I beg to differ. Because if you change them and the new set you don't provide what you need, this is what is going to happen again.
Okay, before I bring Dr. Banankun in, I mean, a simple thing like a student mattress, just a flat mattress, I don't know how much they cost, but is there any way like the hospital can acquire maybe 50 just in case of emergency? You can lay it on the floor instead of the patient lying on the bare floor, at least a student mattress.
Yes, Nana, these innovations can be done, but the end result is that I will continue to emphasize that until we let the political leadership realize that we deserve better. Now, if you have a cardiac condition and they come and put you on a student mattress on the floor, what is going to happen is that you will drown in your own fluid in your chest. Whilst you are lying down, you will just die. Why? Because if you are having a cardiac condition, sometimes we need to prop you up at 30 degrees, at 15 degrees, depending on the condition. So your heart is elevated at a certain point. When I heard the clip you played, and the person said he had a cardiac condition or a friend from Kaswa, all I was just saying is that God, at least let this person be on a plastic chair. Because that patient is better seated than lying on a student mattress. Because if it's a cardiac condition that is congestive, when you lie flat, you cannot breathe. You will just die. You see? So these measures should be exceptional, extraordinary conditions that should call for these measures. And I mean mass catastrophe. If we have a national disaster and we are treating patients on the floor everywhere, everybody will understand. But that it becomes the norm. Every day you go to the emergency, that is what is going to happen. Will bring two problems. One is that on the patient itself, we have reduced their dignity. Patients will die in hospital who do not need to die. Conditions to the worst. Relatives to carry infection to hospital. Patients will get infection from other patients. Supervision, monitoring of these patients will be poor. But like the woman mentioned, if the person has a cardiac condition is lying on the outside under the staircase, which nurse is standing there monitoring that patient to see that the pulse is dropping, or this patient is about to go off, so that it can intervene? I want to have nurses sitting outside there by all these patients and monitoring them? Certainly not. So the quality is going to go down. Now, on the health workers themselves, ergonomics does not support this type of care. When you are bending down to resuscitate patients and it is a routine, every day that's what you are going to do, most of the health workers will break down. People will have weight problems, back problems, and they'll come with sick leave for months. The long effect is that the understaffing that we have will get worsened. And the ultimate loser is the Ghanaian. So I think it should be a wake-up call on all of us, media, the NGOs, coalition of NGOs and health, civil society organizations. Everybody should rise up and tell the politicians that Ghanaian deserves better.
I'll come back to you. Dr. Benyu, I'll come back to you. Let me, I want you to respond because I know Dr. Banankun was advocating Harsha.
Dr. Benyu.
Yeah, good evening, my brother.
Yes, as much as I'm hearing you, but I still stand by my point with certain reasons. You know, I know you know the system very well.
Yeah.
At the health facility, there's always somebody who is in charge.
Okay.
Yes. So if there's somebody who is in charge at the facility and supervising what is happening at every point in time, what is that person has to do with the external environment in case an ambulance is bringing a sick person or an emergency case? Why will that person allow the sick person to be brought to the facility only to be frustrated? That is one issue I see.
Mr. Dr. Bernard, if I may just give an immediate response, this is because of the non-existence of a national call system. What is happening is that you have no clue who is coming to you. You have no clue. They just put it in and you have to care for them. You see? So if we had a national call system and somebody could call from Kaswa, this person is calling from Kaswa to that call system. I have a patient with a cancer condition. Whoever is on duty or whoever is in charge of Korle-Bu would have said, this person is going to lie flat and that means worsening his condition. So let me call Rich. Let me call 37. Let me call here. If you are not getting all these places, if when the patient is coming from, you have a bed, do A, B, C, D. This will be a professional at a higher level advising the lower facility. Proper the patient on the bed you have. Give lacing. Give A, B, C, D. In the meantime, we are trying to create a bed. When we get a bed, we'll call you to bring the person. But in the absence of such a system, it is very difficult to blame the person in charge because he doesn't know where the patient is even coming from. If you ask those who are on duty when this thing happens, you realize that there is no call system. The patients are just brought in. So okay. That's a response to that one, my brother.
Okay. Yes, you have explained. We have taken it, but we still cannot accept this. The other point is that I know you treat emergency cases very seriously.
Yeah.
Yes. So whether there is a call system or not, your emergency system is activated 24/7. Yeah. And therefore, for example, yesterday, there was a discussion with the Rich Hospital management. And they were showing there were seemingly some vacancies there. And Rich Hospital is not far from Korle-Bu, plus other hospitals within the region.
Yes.
Our point is that leadership at the various facilities should be able to innovatively. The point is innovation here. We can't blame government all the time for just the directive that government has given. But the people who were there should be able to innovatively communicate and link up with their colleagues in their other facilities. Because whichever way you explain it, we still cannot accept that the leadership, when they saw that this was the issue, it is just shame to allow this to happen when they could have communicated and link up with others to be able to manage the situation. That is one thing that we think that whether we have a national call center or not, you already know yourself. I even know you have platforms within the region. So you have a platform that you communicate. All the in charges, all the directors, all the what do you call it, the lab technicians, they have a common platform. The emergency or the ambulance service, even though we know that government has not been able to provide enough and effective ambulance system, but what we have, we can make good use of it if we are innovative and we really care about the patient's right. As you also know that the code of ethics, whatever you do, once you violate it, it's a violation. It cannot be explained and it cannot be compromised. So that is our position, that irrespective of whatever explanation, whether GMA or even government is explaining, we will not accept until we see that leadership at the various facilities are properly innovative within the circumstances that the directive has been issued.
Let's hear
and that can be possible.
Okay. Now, I don't know if I can make some small submission.
Yes, of course.
All right. So I think we at least have one point of agreement. And that point is that the current status is not acceptable.
Yeah.
The only point that we do not agree on, and I agree he is entitled, or the group is entitled to their opinion, as much as we are also entitled to our opinion. I think what we need to put out there is how we solve this problem. And I'm saying that priority and priority. And I continue emphasizing priority and priority and priority because if you work as a healthcare worker, you would know, or if you are close enough work as a healthcare worker, you would know that we have innovated, and sometimes we are at our wit's end. and there's nothing more you can do. Because, like I said, it's a simple demand and supply equation that has no balance. And you have done everything you can do under the circumstances. If you are talking about innovation, my question is that who controls the communication system? The talk about platforms. If you have a social platform, it's not obligated on anybody. Who manages that platform? Can we continue to rely on persons' individual attitude and behavior in times like this? Why can't we put in systems that have been proven by research, supported by evidence elsewhere? They work.
Doc, but you have an effective association. I mean, is this beyond the association, or can the association come together and say, listen, let's have a call center? And I'm sure within.
No, but Nana, let me just ask. If the association decides to want to have a call center, it's not as simple as the way we see. When we call for a call center, we need a call center that has monitoring profit. And that can only come from the employer, who has the power to sanction people who do not work appropriately. We need call centers that are linked to the system. I have mentioned that sometimes on our own, and that's what we started by innovation. Again, we mentioned that I didn't have to call. Sometimes you have to call friends. And can imagine if the doctor at the ER at that time calls somebody from Rage. Then the doctor you call is not on duty, says, I'm at home. You wake up somebody at 2 a.m. Only for the person to tell you that he's not the one on duty. Why can't we demand that there be a phone in that facility that's linked to other facilities that we can call? This is not rocket science. Nana, as long as we do not put the problem where it is, and we continue looking for these temporal solutions and innovate and do all that, they will fizzle away. I am saying that if we have priority, we mentioned it there, we have been able to buy it, how many of them, and we don't have plans. All involved in security and they are coordinating. It is very important, and I agree, it is important of doing that to secure the security of the state. Why can't we do that? You see, until we put the blame where it belongs, as far as I'm concerned, GNA has not taken the taxes of the public. As far as I'm concerned, the head of Korle-Bu has not taken taxes of anybody. The person that we have entrusted our lives with, our healthcare with, our transportation system with, are those who have put themselves as public officers that we have elected them, and they are supposed to manage these things for us. They give that authority to other people, and they must hold people responsible to do that. So my point is that the media and all of us must stop finding short-term stopgap measures, because this is not like what happened yesterday. It's not because there's an outbreak of cholera. It's not because that has resulted in this. This is that the number of patients feed is available.
Dr. B, do I sense, Dr. B, let me come here. Do I sense that because government is renegating so much on their responsibility, you sort of want to teach them a little bit of a lesson? So, whereas you could...
No, and far from teaching a lesson. The honest truth is that all of us are here. And I will propose that as a nation, we even prevent politicians from traveling abroad from any form of treatment until these things are fixed. I know consultants, physicians, consultants, surgeons who have died on the floor. My lecturer died on the floor. If I, God forbid, had an emergency and needed to eat the SMB yesterday, I'll probably be on the floor. Because when someone comes in, that's what the situation is. That is what it is. So it's not about showing anybody a lesson, but we are saying that we as a people must demand. And that demand should be laid squarely where it should be laid. If we allow the politicians to tell us that, oh, let them innovate or put pressure on them, if they don't, let's criminalize no-breath syndrome. You criminalize it, yes, you are arresting doctors and nurses who were on duty, struggling to provide care for 60 patients in a facility that can care for 30 patients. You arrest them for also criminality. Is that the way to stop it?
Dr. B, you see,
we must say the food by themselves and tell our politicians, tell those that say thing and so. And I'm saying the solution is not far-fetched. We talk about innovation and call. The minister can call an intermediate meeting with national security, with Ministry of Information, Communication Authority within 3 days.
Doc, let me jump in here with innovation before I come to the. You know, when I suggested the mattresses, you said, oh, if somebody has a heart attack, the mattress is not good enough. But what if it's not a heart attack? What if it's a broken leg or something else that they need to lie down? I mean, the student mattress could, you know, go a long way.
Now, like I mentioned, for us, healthcare workers, we welcome that. But my problem is that in this country, we have a problem where short-term measures become the lead. And I'm saying that in a mass catastrophe, national disaster, emergency system, we are all ready to even perform surgery under tree. But it should not become the norm, a daily ritual, that somebody going to the hospital will sleep on a student mattress and the staircase after the emergency. I hope you are getting the picture.
I think I get you, but let me bring Dr. Banagu. Dr. Banagu, so the question now is, what is the minimum we have to accept from government? Because I think that's where the balance is, that, you know, government, what is the minimum we should accept?
What is the minimum we must accept
from government? And
what value, if I'm the add-on, what value does the government place on the Ghanaian life? If they accept that the normal Ghanaian is acceptable for that person to be sleeping under a staircase.
Let me bring Dr. Banagu in here. Doctor, what's the minimum we should accept from government?
Okay, the minimum we could accept from government is that we should have adequate human resource with accompanying with its infrastructure. So, for example, we are supposed to have at least a doctor to at least 4,000 patients, at least. That would have been much more desired. Currently, we have over 8,000 per doctor, and even this one is just within the urban center. In the rural area, you may not have even a doctor to 155,000 population. So what it means is that government is the main problem. Government, one, is not financing the health budget adequately, as it ought to have financed it.
So,
and two, the human resource deployment. There's no equity in the human resource deployment. So we do not have doctors spread equitably across the country. We do not have midwives. Even now, a lot of midwives have retired, and we are not replacing them. We have similarly more nurses now than ever. We even have nurses staying in the house. So government priority is misplaced. That is our understanding. If you look at all the plans by the Ministry of Health, they have misplaced their priorities. This is the simple reason. They have not given the necessary budget support to the national health budget. Two, they have not been able to deploy the human resource equitably. And three, we are not managing the current facilities well. And that is a misplaced priority.
Let me rephrase my question. At which point should a student, a patient say that, oh, as for this one, I know the doctor is stretched out because government did not work at all, or no, as for this one, the doctor could have done something, but, you know, it's not working hard?
You know, there are two categories. We have quality of care, and then we have the normal health delivery. And so when you have special case and you are moving especially to the teaching hospital, there's a high expectation from the patient when he's at that level. And at that level, there should not be any excuse. Korle-Bu is a teaching hospital. It's a premier, it's a referral center. That's where all the researches are done. So when people are going to Korle-Bu, they are going there because there's a high expectation. That is one. The other aspect is that we can minimize that congestion if we prioritize very well. You know, most of the cases at Korle-Bu are really not supposed to be there. If somebody is going to Korle-Bu for just treating malaria, Nana, it's because we are not prioritizing our public health education is not working. We are not financing the preventive aspect of education. Even when you go to Korle-Bu, you can't find somebody who will then tell you that next time when you have such this, you are supposed to treat it at the district level. Some are even lower than the district level. So we have a mispriority and we are not financing the activities as we ought to finance in the health budget. So it is jamming up the whole system. And this is what we are advocating for, that let the minister stand by his word to say that this year we will make sure that all the plans we put there in terms of human resource deployment, we are able to do it. In terms of maintenance and deployment of personnel to manage facilities, we are able to do that. In terms of responding to emergencies, you remember the beginning of the year, they talk about this such number of ambulances for the districts. Right now, where are they? Greater Accra, even Greater Accra, we don't have enough to be able to manage these crises that are happening around. So it's just a mispriority and not wanting to listen to what the public is crying for. If they pay serious attention to what civil society is saying and they address it, we will not have. This year is the most record-breaking year in terms of challenges in the health sector. If you notice, almost every year, almost every month, you have 2 or maximum 4 cases of alleged medical negligence. If you notice, we have 3 or 7 cases of facilities being violated people's right. So you see that it's because we are not from the top down, we are not able to put straightforward what we ought to do for the year. And so people are doing anything and nobody is punished for whatever.
One of the issues that the minister raised was that, I mean, like if he opens some of these idle health posts, he may have to go to Korle-Bu to pull some doctors from here and pull doctors from here. So, that, I mean, there isn't a bank of doctors sitting there waiting to fill this. I mean,
no, that's not an excuse. He's just finding a way. If the minister is listening, we can't subscribe to this explanation. He's finding a way to dodge the situation.
Well, but where is he going to get the doctors from?
Nana, let me give you a practical example. In my region, there are doctors who are at the regional hospital, but the regional director has been able to make arrangements for them to provide backup to districts that do not have doctors. If you look at Korle-Bu, Korle-Bu alone is having almost 40% of our national doctors. Followed by Komfo-Anokye. The rest you can find very small number. So the two regions alone are having more than half of the population of doctors in this country.
So they can definitely spare some.
So it's a leadership issue. You need to enforce equity distribution of doctors. Let the doctor move from Korle-Bu to Sunyani or in Krankwanta or Sene, Kwame Danso, and still have the same opportunity that he would have been in Accra and still have with his family. That is a leadership issue. The minister needs to hit the nail right there. If it is not happening, then the Director General should ensure that that person is taken out and we replace. Already we have doctors sitting in the house. So you see that it's a mispriority, or he's finding a lean way not to allow the equity distribution. That we are not happy about it, because we supported the idea that let's have equity distribution of the doctors. 2.
Before you go to 2, let me take a quick break and come back, and then we'll listen to 2, and Dr. Benyu is still on the phone with us, so don't go away. Well, 12th to the 15th of July, the Joy Bridal Fair. You definitely want to be there if you are looking to tie the knot. Even those of us who have tied the knot again probably have to go there and see how we can strengthen the knot. so be there. Doc, it looks like it's a hopeless situation.
No, what is happening now is calling for us to mobilize the whole country to transition our health sector into a robust one. And so whatever we are saying, we are not just blaming onto one person. We are blaming because we want people to take different initiatives. If you continue to do what we have been doing, we will never get results. And that's why we seek to support the minister, the director general, the Ghana Medical Association, the private medical association, and nurses and midwifery. We are not talking because we want to talk. We are talking because we want to contribute to a transformed health system in Ghana. And they need to wake up. They are in the helm of affairs, but our talks will draw their attention to change of behavior, change of attitudes, and putting more finance into the health sector. That is why we are talking. And very soon we are going to just move beyond the talking and begin to take certain measures to ensure that Ghana is for all of us. If we don't talk, the ordinary citizen will suffer. Those at the helm of affairs, excuse me to say, they can afford private treatment. But for you and I, we cannot afford, and more especially the woman and a child in the rural area who maybe around this time have just come and is preparing food to eat, cannot afford some of these things. And therefore, the Constitution enjoins all of us to hold every public officer responsible for the purpose of what they are doing at the health sector. And so our health system is in transition now because, one, the demand is more than the supply now. So there's no doubt we can continue to use the few human resources to provide the services to the satisfaction of the masses. It's not possible, as Dr. Bayu confirmed that. But innovations have to come to play. And the innovations here, despite that the ministry is not able to get the required budgetary allocation for the health sector, it doesn't mean that success stories cannot be told. In fact, Nana, success stories are there. The Ministry of Ghana Health Service is not telling the public what is happening at the local and the communities level. Otherwise, people will appreciate what they are doing. The stories are not told, and therefore we are not able to appreciate the small that they are doing at the corners. The other aspect I wanted to talk about is that, now, do you know how many doctors has been retired when they were in active service and they are retired in Ghana? And I will challenge your team to get that information. We are not utilizing them. If the government is having conditions because of other donor conditions, I don't want to mention names, but that is the major reason why government is not employing in the health sector. Why can't we use our retired doctors? That's innovation. Because they are sitting in the house. And every health facility have an arrangement to have some internal generated funds. Now, a retired doctor specialist is willing to serve the country if he is called back. So I'm challenging the minister, he should find out how many of such retired doctors are in the country, midwives are in the country, nurses are in the country, who are willing to still serve this country, so that we can innovatively provide some level of confidence in the system.
Doc, let me pause for 1 second. I still have Dr. Bini on the phone, but let's hear what the PRO, Korle-Bu, was saying, what solutions he is proposing.
This is a 36-bed facility unit. But as of yesterday, the patients that we had were in excess of 60. So which means we have literally doubled the number of patients we should actually have at the SME So that was why we had patients on chairs, and some of them were even outside. This morning there was one patient, but fortunately the person has been moving because until space has been created for the person to move. So that is the situation we find ourselves in. But the moment what we are going to do, we are linking up with other hospitals to inform them not to refer. They can do telephonic consultations to give them guide on how to deal with those issues, except the dire emergencies that they will still speak to us and then we take them. We want to do this for 48 hours to allow the place to decongest so that we can start receiving. And spaces with creators, they have all been moving now, but you still have patients sitting on chairs receiving treatment at the SME now, as I speak to you now. But in order to deal with this, there are certain measures that we have taken as a hospital. As we went, maybe we'll move there, we'll see the emergency that we'll be moving in before the end of this month. That will provide us an additional space. It will literally double the number of beds that we have here at the new place. We started planning for a bigger place almost 10 years ago. That is the Acute Pain Management Center. So that will substantially deal with the problems we are being confronted with at the moment.
Well, as they said, demand is exceeding supply. Dr. Abinio. Hello, Titus.
Yeah, I'm here.
Good. Doc, let me ask you the same question. Is this a hopeless situation?
No, I think I always will want to conclude by saying that the situation is not hopeless. And that's why we are still in it. If we have given up, then maybe some of us would have picked back the baggage and joined our colleagues and counterparts who have left the country. There is hope, but I think that we just have to ensure that those who are supposed to what they do what they are supposed to do it. And I would again want to emphasize the fact that we all have to just understand what the value of the life of a Ghanaian is. The respect and dignity that we are supposed to have.
Doc, but this is 2018, so if we don't understand the value of a human being, and it's affected, some of the highest amongst us, presidents have been affected. So yes. What will have to happen for that trigger to,
So I think for what can happen, perhaps it's what is happening now. Is the media maintaining that sustained pressure, that sustained focus on health, mindful that a reporter, his editor, his producer, the media owner, myself, everybody is at risk, especially when it comes to emergency care. So that we can put pressure on the powers that be to prioritize this. Because I'm looking forward to a day where we are going to judge politicians who come to ask for their mandate. That what improvement have we done to our emergency system? And we don't want just rhetoric. We don't want box. We want the practical things that you have done. What the improvements have been.
Look, we are told that there's an emergency unit that's been built but has not been used. It's been re-roofed. What's the story with that?
Yeah, it's very, 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 very unfortunate. This emergency center that has been built was commissioned. Later, we are told it has to be re-roofed because some part of it came in. And as we are speaking, there are equipment that were brought in, that were plugged in for years, waiting to be commissioned. There was commissioned, then there were a whole lot of structural problems. And the way typically things happen here, the politician gives the contract even without involving the end users. Then they come and build something that is not fit for purpose. We had an eye unit that was commissioned and could not run because it didn't have air conditioning. It was built completely closed without air conditioning, simply because somebody was not consulted, people were not, the end users were not involved. And when we talk of drastic measures, I would have assumed that when this unfortunate passing of Mr. Champong occurred, and people were all over the media, and ministers and directors were talking, that is the time we would have heard that, look, we have taken this emergency measure and that emergency will be open tomorrow or in a week. How long ago has this been? It's been more than 3 weeks. It's been more than 3 weeks. And we are still hearing dates that this emergency eventually will be repealed. If that emergency was functional, what happened this week will not happen. Most likely, even if it will happen, it will be to a less extent. So I think that the media must hold people to task. Once you hear a date, let's not wait till that date. In a week's time, let's find out what processes have taken place so far to make sure that we are arriving at that conclusion by that date. Because it keeps changing. In the meantime, people are lying on the floor under the staircase to be treated, which is not acceptable.
Doc,
So I think the media is doing well. I'll commend you. You have become voices for all of us, practitioners, ordinary Ghanaians, and everybody who feels threatened by this current situation. Because apparently it threatens all of us, but some people either are not seeing it or are not prioritizing it.
Doc,
And I think when you continue to report, it will make a difference.
thank you very much, Dr. Titus Binyu there, Deputy General Secretary, Association of Medical Health. And Dr. Ben, I'm going to give you 1 minute to...
Yeah,
Thank
before I make my final submission, let me take this opportunity to congratulate Oheneyere Gifty for the wonderful job she has been doing for Mother Ghana. I want to assure her that tomorrow the coalition will be represented at her function,
brilliant.
and we will contribute to what she's planned doing tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
So, Oheneyere, congratulations, and we are behind you. We will contribute our quota to support you for the program. I think it's at Agboguleshi.
Yes, Agboguleshi and Tema Station.
Yeah, fortunately, some of our NGOs are there. So we just need to collaborate with them.
That would be nice.
I have 3 issues for the country. The Ministry of Health need to be much more proactive and innovative about how we finance and supervise healthcare delivery in this country. This is just our strong recommendation for them. The Ghana Health Service does well if they are supported. Now, I've moved around the whole country. 3 months ago, I moved around all the 10 regions and 50 districts. If you see some doctors operating in a rural district, you have no idea of the competence, and that doctor have not recorded any fatality. In a rural district, in Crown Kwanta, in the Brown-Hafu,
Wow.
to the extent that other countries come there. That is the innovation I'm talking about. And Ghana Health is not selling these good things that they are doing there. In the midst of all these challenges, that's what they are doing. So Ghana Health Service, we know you are capable. If you are supported, you will deliver the best. The third thing is that civil society, let's support the communities to report the issues so that government can take serious action. And on this note, our greetings to everybody.
Greetings to everybody and greetings to all of you, and special greetings to my wife. 11th July is 10 years, marks 10 years of the standpoint. I think she's done well. So I say congratulations to you, dear wife. And tomorrow we will be there to support you. But to you at home, we'll be back to do this all over again. Doc, thank you very much.
Thank you too.